All right, man. Iceman finally dropped.
Best album of the year.
You son of a bitch. Oh man.
No, I don't know, bro. Like this is it. I'm not a Drake hater, and that's what I was explaining to someone at work. I was like, but I'm not the biggest Drake fan either. So I go into everything that's Drake related just with,
With that in mind,
with that in mind. Like, if
I
he,
tried to actually hype myself up because I've never really been a Drake fan. With the rollout for this Iceman actually had me excited. I was like, you know what? I feel like he's gonna come in, he's gonna say some shit with his chest, he's gonna, let everybody know why he's number one. And I feel like I was reminded why I don't like Drake. Because like it felt like Drake with the melodies, but Drake also trying to act tough, and I don't like either one.
yeah.
If I'm just being honest.
To be fair, you got to remember though, like when we're only covering Iceman, so we're not covering Habibi or Habiti or whatever it's pronounced.
For good reason.
Yeah.
That shit sucked too.
Or what was the other one called?
Maid of Honor.
Maid of Honor, right?
Which I saw some people being like, finally your mom gets a goddamn cover. Like you know what I mean?
That white lady on the cover is his mom?
Yeah, bro.
Ah.
You ain't never seen Mrs. Graham?
I've never seen a picture or anything of Mrs. Graham. Nothing like that. So
didn't he used to like take her to the award shows and shit?
Did he? I'm like, I've never seen Drake with his mom. But again, I'm not like the biggest. Like, I've never seen Kendrick with his mom or fucking Jay-Z and his mom, or like I've seen Puffy with his mom a lot.
J. Cole for sure took his
J.
mom.
Cole has definitely taken his mom, yeah. But like, so no disrespect, but I'm just I didn't realize and now that I'm thinking about it, yeah, who else would the woman have been on Maid of Honor? Like that would make sense that it was his mom, I guess. But yeah, I had no clue that's who that was supposed to be. So that's good to know. I mean, to your point, yeah, good for your mom for finally getting her fuck flowers, but like, probably wishes it could have been on a better project.
I'd be like, go ahead and. What if his mom came out and sued him? So it's like, give my
Gave him the straight Eminem
treatment.
You're not gonna fucking bring my name into this.
No, that was part of the problem that I had too. Is like everybody's like, Drake dropped 3 albums. Drake dropped 3 albums. No rapper's ever done this. And I was like, I'm sorry, but you put out a lot of quantity over quality because that shit was trash. Like if I'm just being honest, if you're gonna come into an album and you're gonna talk about I'm number one, I should be on the same level as Michael. If you're gonna put out 40 songs, at the very least 20 of them things gotta be, to me, you just threw shit at the wall and you're hoping something sticks in order to get you past that 13th number one.
Yeah. I mean, again, though, we have only listened to Iceman. We haven't listened, and Iceman is the highest rated of the 3 projects. Just keeping that in mind too. But we've only listened to Iceman. So I keep thinking to myself, and I was thinking about that on the drive down here. I was like, there might be something on Habiti or fucking Maid of Honor that just blows me away. Like there might be a bop on there. And that's just it. Like not being the biggest Drake fan, I will openly admit, the Drake that I have that's in my phone or whatever is like probably like popcorn Drake, like the fucking. Well, I hate Hotline Bling, so that's not a song that's on there. But like his more popular songs, the shit that was like number 2 and number 1 on the charts. So I'm not probably as familiar with like actual rap in Drake outside of like 2009, 2010 when he first came on the scene, was still releasing mixtapes and EPs or whatever, right? But like I'm not as familiar with trying to be tough and hardcore Drake as everyone else might be. So that's where for me I was just like, do I think the album is ass? Not necessarily. Was I expecting a little bit more though? Like absolutely. Like I was expecting, it's almost summertime, so I'm expecting like summer bops and like a few club songs, some shit that I'm gonna hear if I go out in a club in Miami or something like that. And again, only having listened to Iceman, I didn't hear that on this album. Like, this album to me was more of a like that mad angry. I think you were just saying this. That angry ex that fucking
Yep.
like has a score to settle.
Yep.
It,
Anybody that said anything negative about him during the whole Kendrick beef, and anybody that felt like took Kendrick's side in that, he had something to say about all those people.
which to me just shows again you didn't win, and you didn't win because to
Mhm.
me I that's what I was. We've talked about this. I was expecting like a victory lap album, like oh, I won this shit. Like, now I can go on and get back to my summer bops. I can go out and try and like dethrone Michael as number one on the Billboard Hot 100 and all that shit. And
Yeah, but in order to take a victory lap, you gotta actually have won some shit. You didn't win the beef, and you didn't win the damn lawsuit.
but he thinks he won the beef. We know he
Does he?
didn't.
Does it?
Well,
Like, this album did not come out saying like, "Yeah, I won that shit." This album came out and, like you just said, like, it was a pissed off ex that came in and said, "I'm number 1 because I've always been number 1." You know, you forget about that shit that happened a couple years ago because I was number 1 before that and I'm still number 1 now. And, like, you may be the only person that still believes that because, like, we saw your projects against Kendrick's projects, and we saw that you ain't on that level.
yeah.
And this album further solidified that because if we're just being honest, GNX was a 10 times better album
Oh, yeah.
than what this was. And maybe you could say that Kendrick was in a creative mindset because he dropped GNX right after the beef, but I don't know. Like
I would have
if
expected even more because you had time to take out, like, you had time to
exactly.
sit back, reflect. Like, you took some years off. To your point earlier, you were saying is that what Drake hasn't dropped an album in 2, 3 years. It's been like
Something like that.
some time. So I was expecting just more. And it's funny because as you were talking just now, I was just thinking, I was like, this motherfucker is essentially like the male version of Nicki Minaj, right? Like, because you just said,
Don't you ever.
because you just, well, hold on, because you just said, like,
Just getting in a beef
I'm
with
number,
everybody?
I'm number one because I've always been
Oh,
number
okay.
one,
Okay,
right?
I could
And
see
like,
that.
Nicki definitely feels that, oh, because I was number one, I've always gonna be number one, and I've always been number one, and like y'all should bow down, even though there's Meg the Stallions, Doja Cats, like motherfuckers that have come onto the scene that can clearly either hold a candle to her or probably out rap her. Drake is, in my opinion, kind of getting that same treatment right now. Like, he's
The barb's gonna
sadly
come after you.
no.
Bro, what Nicki did during that time period,
Groundbreaking. Like,
bro.
yeah, don't, and that's not to take anything away from Nicki Minaj. And I've said that before. I'm like, if Nicki Minaj didn't stand on the stage by herself as a female rapper, although people also have to remember, it's not like the motherfucker was the first female rapper, right? Like, we had Trina, we had Missy Elliott, like there were other Little Kim that came along and did their thing too. They just didn't get to do it on the like same level that Nicki
Nicki was
did. They
the
weren't
first,
selling out like arenas and fucking like
but she
going
was
on
the first female rapper that came along that could contend with male
with the males.
rappers.
Yeah.
That's
That's true.
that's insane. And even female rappers now are not contending with male rappers. Like, arguably, and I don't even think it's arguably. I think a majority of public perception on Monster says that Nicki had the best verse,
Yeah.
and there were fucking just the elites on that song, and
Yeah.
she came out and had the best verse. Like, so I don't know.
But
I
I
think
say that I'm saying that to say,
I will say this before you get into that. I liked Drake the most when he was influenced and close by Nicki. I think that iron sharpens
that's
iron.
another that's a good
Like,
take.
so, but he's been so far away from Nicki for so long and just kind of in his own like little ecosystem of yes men that I don't think he's at that level anymore. He still thinks he is though.
Yeah. Well, and that's what I was about to say. I think to your point, because he was so big in the 2010s, right? Like the thought process is, oh, I'm at the top. I'm one of the biggest there is to do it right now. Uh like I'm always going to be number one. And then you have somebody like Kendrick come along, you have people like Cole come along. Shit, even I would say motherfuckers that are younger than them, like the 21 Savages of the world that have come on. I'm like, I'm not saying they're out rapping Drake, but they can hold a candle to that man. And that's where, to me, I'm just like, I don't think it. Oh, sorry. I don't think it was smart of him to do the whole baby brother thing. Like, oh, like I'm a king, you're a prince, but in reality, you're not looking at the overall quality of what this individual's work is. And that's the only comparison I'm making to him and Nikki. Is like Nikki is one of those people, in my opinion, that like doesn't look at the quality of what the other female rappers does. She just looks at, well, I was here first. I did it the biggest. If it weren't for me, you motherfuckers wouldn't be here. And Drake can make a lot of those same arguments. Drake can make a lot of arguments that if it weren't for him, rappers wouldn't be able to go into certain spaces that they're finding themselves in. Like Drake could probably argue if it weren't for him that a motherfucker like Kendrick wouldn't have been able to do a GNX tour, a stadium tour that's worldwide, and touching on various countries and stuff like that, right? Like because Drake, in many ways, introduced, and I hate to say that, introduced hip hop and rap to a lot of people in countries that weren't fucking with hip hop and rap.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I'd agree with that. It's just it's hard to believe that he's been able to achieve this amount of success and like kind of separate himself from like the real lyricist of the game. Because like,
Well, because rap has so many components to it. That's the thing, right? Like we talked about that the other day when we were on the game, right? Like, unfortunately, you don't even have to be a lyricist anymore. You can be a mumble rapper, and
mhm.
maybe your career's not going to be super long, but like a motherfucker can just the fact you can find a career in that without having to actually say any words or say anything of substance or anything of meaning, but still find some type of success. That's crazy to me.
Speaking of mumble rap, what did you think of Future linking up with Drake again?
So I was one of those people. Remember, I was just like, I didn't think that. I was like, after the beef, I didn't think that so many people were going to be able. I remember I said, I was like, I don't think 21 Savage is going to do a song with him. I don't think
But
Future does a
bro,
song
can
with
you
him.
really call 21 Savage getting on a song with him and just fucking bees on the table, bees on the
The
I'm
song
sorry.
wasn't
That
great,
that
but
well, just to me, that felt like 21 was like, bro, I supported you during the beef. Sure, I'll hop. That felt like a pity fuck to me.
really,
Yeah, bro. Like it did not feel like 21 Savage wanted to be on that song. If he would have wanted to be on that song, he would have had some because 21 Savage, he's capable of bars, bro. Like he's definitely evolved as a rapper and he's always been pretty good. But you just come on there and you just bees on the table over and over again.
yeah.
I'm sorry, that's a pity fuck to me. Like that's just saying like, "Hey, I supported you." That to me was sort of like 21 kind of testing the waters a little bit and seeing if Drake is still the pull that we knew him to be. And if you're 21 Savage, you're just like, "Let me stay a little bit close to him just in case he makes it out of this."
Mm-hmm.
But I think public perception says that all 3 of these albums were a flop. It doesn't mean that it's not gonna go number 1. He's just got the audience, bro. Like
Yeah.
it kinda, seems a little bit unfair.
Not to mention who else was dropping. Like what? Nobody else dropping anything right now.
There better not be nobody talking about this in the album of the year category. If I mean, when you look at what's been dropped with Don't Be Dumb, with Casino, with The Fall Off,
Fall off.
when you better not talk about this in the same space as those albums.
It
Even
will
though
be.
Don't Be Dumb wasn't like an album that was widely regarded as being like ASAP Rocky's best work, I think time will benefit that album.
Mm-hmm. Hmm. I mean, I really don't. Because again, I just like I listen to this project and I think to myself, I'm like, you sound like the Angry X.
Mhm.
It doesn't sound like there was any growth when I think of like any of the previous like 2010 Drake albums. And that's where again, I'm only just trying to be honest. I'm only familiar with Boppy Drake, popcorn, bubblegum Drake, right? Like so
I feel like that's always been kind of his Achilles heel, though, is nobody's ever said Drake's like a legitimate rapper. But
his fans have. His fans will tell you that that motherfucker is like a legitimate lyricist.
what are you saying? Like, you can't come on to an album like this, like Iceman, and talk about how, um I know it was before Iceman. It was on Family Matters when he's talking about you ain't planting no money trees in your
Mm,
city. He's talking about how, some one of the songs on here, he's talking about how like you're passing out turkeys, you basically doing it for
yeah,
the cameras, like you ain't actually healing souls and shit like that. When have you, as Drake, ever gone onto a song and healed a soul or tried to take care of somebody other than yourself? Like you've always just been that flashy rapper that says, "This is what I got. I'm fucking with the baddest bitches because the baddest bitches want to fuck with me.
yeah.
I've got all the money. I'm number one." You've never healed a soul,
That's
like you.
true.
So
That's very
don't come
true.
in here and tell me or tell any other rapper that's actually going out there and like, I mean, Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers was one of those albums that I really feel like is a generational healing tool
Yeah.
for a lot of people. And you're gonna come on to your album and say, even if he ain't talking about Kendrick in that verse, I mean, a lot of people are speculating that he is. Bro, you're not on the same level as far as healing people, and you really never have been.
No. I've never seen anyone listen to a Drake album or a track and be like, "Oh, this track like changed my life," or like,
This might be the album where he's exposed the most of his, like, emotional side as it pertains to, like, his real life, like, he talks about his dad's got cancer in one of the tracks, so it's
"Oh,
like,
that's right."
so to me, if you do stuff like that and you're, like, you're bringing it to, like, a real level playing field with, like, you and, like, the commoners of the world, as you'd probably call them, like, that is healing music, because there are people out there that, their dad's been diagnosed with cancer or somebody in their family's been diagnosed with cancer, and you're helping them through that process. As long as you do it in, like, a respectful way, in an artistic way, like, those are things that you can look back and be like, "Man, I'm helping society get through one of life's biggest struggles." Like,
Yeah.
the thought of losing your mom or the thought of losing your dad, that's something that everybody goes through, and you had one bar in your fucking album where you're talking about how this has affected you, and in the very next song you're talking about, I'm still number one, you can't touch me,
Yeah.
I got the money, I got the bitches, like, come on, bro. But maybe I'm just being a hater.
No, I think, and here's the other thing. I think too, like at a certain point, if you're not gonna grow and evolve, then you need to stick to whatever your MO is. Because if you don't stick to the MO, then that's when fatigue, in my opinion, starts to set in. Right? Like if I was getting again the teeny bopper Drake that was gonna have like some hits on this motherfucker that was gonna have me wanting to dance, I probably would feel a little bit different about the album than what I'm feeling right now versus like, and I'm just going based off what his fans keep saying. If this is like the Drake that y'all are accustomed to, that normally is the rapper slash like, I'm a hard ass nigga. I can do whatever I want, so on and so forth. Um, how are y'all not tired of this shit? Like, how do you not? And that's just the thing. Like, when you look at people like J. Cole, you look at people like Kendrick, you look at people like a Gambino, motherfuckers that are constantly like evolving with the times
Mhm.
and then changing their craft so that their craft is also evolving and
Well,
growing over time
and every one of those artists feel like they're making music for the future.
for the
That
future.
like, that's
Right.
what Kanye was so good at, that's what.
That's why I remember how much I used to struggle with every Kanye album that would come out, and then it would
Mhm.
take me like a year and a half, 2 years to be like, "Oh shit, this is really a masterpiece." I was that way with 808 and Heartbreak. I was that way with fucking uh
My
My
Beautiful Dark
Beautiful Dark
Twisted.
Twisted Fantasy. Like because to your point, Kanye was thinking, "I'm not making music for 2008. I'm making music for 2011." But I'm gonna give it to you in 2008. So that's the to your point, that's a drastic difference. But like I don't get that from Drake necessarily, or I didn't get that in this album necessarily. And
Ok
that's where to me, I'm just like, as a fan, if Kendrick Lamar's To Pimp a Butterfly was the exact same as Good Kid, Mad City, I wouldn't have thought it was that great of an album. It wouldn't be in my top 3 albums of all time, right? If Damn was anything remotely like To Pimp a Butterfly, which they're not, probably wouldn't have thought Damn. And remember, I didn't like Damn when it first came out. It took me like a few months to actually get on, and I was like, this actually is a pretty goddamn good album, right?
For a
Like
commercial album,
for
it's
a
fucking
commercial album.
fantastic.
Yeah, it's really good. But like I say all that to say you can't put up, and that's what I think of when I think of the greats, right? Like you can't put up a Kendrick album and versus another Kendrick album and say like these sound remotely similar. It's
Mhm.
like MJ, and MJ was all pop, right? Like pop and R&B. You can't put up a Thriller album and put it next to like Off the Wall or Bad or Dangerous and say that these albums sound remotely the same. They don't. They're drastically different. And for me, that's where I'm just like when I listen to this, if this is the Drake that y'all have been getting for, 10, 15 plus years when he actually does the lyricist rapping, well then god damn, y'all are like depriving yourself of
Mhm.
quite the
Real art.
lyrics because it's nothing. There was nothing there of substance for me that there was to like grasp onto, with the exception of like a few of tracks, right? The track where he talks about his dad uh having cancer or whatever, like that one I can kind of feel, but then I contrast that with like, I was in Atlanta, call me Santa.
Yeah. Pretty rough.
Girls in
And the thing
Australia, what
is,
can I tell you?
one of the biggest problems that I think Drake has is the issue with vision. You're not looking
Mm,
through the windshield, you're looking at the rear view and just being like, look what I've accomplished, look what I've done. And you're basically just you're recreating all of those moments that you've already had. You know what I'm saying? And you're not looking forward and saying like this album is going to be groundbreaking because in 10 to 15 years, that's when it's going to catch up to this.
yeah.
Like everything is I'm making music for 10 years ago when I was super hot. Like and to his credit, like you're still super relevant within your fan base. And I'm sure that he's probably gonna have at least one of these songs that go number one. I don't know how, but one of them's gonna go number one and he's gonna surpass Michael. I think it's a tragedy. I don't think that he should even be talked about in the same.
I just want to point out too that like Michael Jackson technically has 17 number ones because they don't count the ones with his brother. They count them separately. Even though,
Which to me is bullshit because Drake has like number ones with like Rihanna,
yeah,
and
and those count.
they ain't even his songs. He didn't even need to be on those songs. Credit to you for attaching yourself to something that you knew was going to be a bop, but bro, fuck out of my face if you think that you're in the same category as somebody like Michael. And that's like another thing that we we haven't got a chance to talk about it since the last episode. But in between then and now, the new Michael movie came out.
So good.
Such a fantastic movie. And the thing is like when you see the portrayal of like of Michael in this biopic, bro, there's levels. There's levels to the artistry and like what it takes to be an artist. And the thing is like you as Drake, who you know you're not on that level. I'm
There's
trying to
no
be as
Joe Jackson
respectful as
in
possible.
Drake's life.
What's that,
So there's no Joe Jackson in Drake's life.
bro? No. The
Like there's
closest thing he got to fucking Joe Jackson is on Degrassi when they was wheeling his ass around in a motherfucking wheelchair. Like getting shot in the back. Like that's the only thing. That's probably the only comparison that you got to motherfucking Michael, and you were just acting at that time.
And remember too, Michael was doing this in the time when motherfuckers had to go out and purchase his singles, right? Like motherfuckers had to
Not
go
only
out and
purchase
spend
his
money
singles,
on
but
his
black
singles.
artists back then were not. They were not looked at the same as what white artists
That's
were.
true.
Like Michael had to fight in order to get on MTV, even though he had this masterpiece in Thriller.
Okay.
So the thing is like Michael went through so many more roadblocks than what Drake did. Like it felt like when Drake came out, they just opened up the seas for this man and said,
Oh,
walk right through.
absolutely.
Walk right
Absolutely.
through. Like, and that's how you're getting close to the same number ones as Michael, because everything was tailored for you to make it this successful. And the thing is like you're gonna come out on this album and now you're gonna talk shit about UMG and be like, oh, they were plotting against me. I was, I was part of a corporate hit job. Bro, you are corporate.
Yeah.
What are you talking about? Like you are the definition of what we don't like in the hip hop rap genre. Like that is you. And because one time they turned their back on you and they propped up Kendrick because Kendrick had the better bars by public perception. Kendrick was burying you. So if I'm UMG, I'm not gonna throw you out there and just be like, no, like everybody, you're wrong.
Yeah.
Like, Drake is actually winning this beef because we all saw it. We all saw what was happening. And now Drake wants to come out like a pissed off ex and be like, oh, fuck corporate. And it's like, bro, what are you talking about? The same corporate that's propped you up for the last 15, 20 years. Like what are we doing?
Same corporate you benefited from. Now you're upset
Exactly.
because someone else is also benefiting.
And the thing is like you're gonna come out and talk about how 100 million streams went away and like ain't nobody gonna question that and whatnot. Bro, if anybody has benefited from bot farms listening to music throughout the history of hip hop and rap, it's you.
Yeah.
So fuck out of my face with that too.
Yeah.
I feel passionate about this shit now.
Well, that's just it too. I'm like, it's crazy because like I'm sure you've always been able to buy a number one because there's been
Bro, we seen it. Like
Yeah.
when artists had to go out and buy their own CDs and shit like that, like I don't think a majority of us had any issues with that. If you're an artist and you're going into Target and you're buying fucking 50 of your CDs, that's fine.
Yeah.
If you're an artist and you're paying bots in order to give you millions, hundreds of millions, billions of streams, and you're doing that on a consistent basis in order to make sure that you're always in that number one spot or you're
Yeah.
always talked about as a part of the elite, bro, we can't fuck with that.
Yeah. We shouldn't either, right? Because to your point, that fudges the numbers. It's because I often think I'm just like, yeah, you have 13 number ones. Well, how many of those did you pay for, right? Like, how many of those are because of your bot farms versus a star of the 80s or 90s got 13 number ones and, right, they were number ones that, again, I'm sure that record labels were pushing fucking people to go buy numbers and there was money that was propped up behind to like market a certain artist or a certain single and track over others, but like not to the extent that we get to see it now, right? And not to the level of what you're seeing now.
The difference is I feel like back in the day, you were excited when like a Thriller album came out, and you got to go out and you got to purchase a record and you got to listen to it and you were talking about it amongst your friends. Now, when music gets put out, it's like it's being pushed in our face. Like
Yeah.
I'm not even like a Drake fan, but the whole rollout of ICEMAN, like I was tuned in because it was just like I was being forced to. Like if
Oh
you
yeah.
hop on social media and you're like you follow the same sort of pages that we follow, where it's like a music base, everybody was talking about
People
Iceman.
are
And
fucking
to his
freezing
credit,
themselves and shit.
yeah, to his credit, the rollout was way
Better than the album.
better than the album. Like, and I don't know if that's like a backhanded compliment, but it's like you got me excited. You got me to the dance. You
Mhm.
got me to like listen. I didn't download that shit on my phone, but and I'm definitely not buying a vinyl. But the thing is like you got me to listen to it, which to your credit was all done through your marketing team. Like your marketing team came out and said, "This is about to be an album. This is what you guys been waiting for. I got some shit to say." And then I downloaded it and I heard fucking hoes call me Santa and whatnot. Dude, I'm sorry, but you done lost me.
The rollout did feel bigger than the album itself. Like I'm gonna be
There was
honest
so
with
much
you. Like I
speculation.
feel like there was so much behind it. Like I remember the Breakfast Club was talking about it. They were talking about it on fucking like various news outlets in like Toronto apparently. And to your point, there was so much speculation about the album. And then the album came out, and I feel like I didn't hear anybody say shit really on Friday. It was
And
like
to me,
not silence, but like, oh yeah, Iceman dropped.
you kind of fucked up by dropping 3 projects. You
Yeah,
thought you were
overshadowed.
doing something there by like dropping 3 mid projects. Like if you would have just put everything you had into this one album, Iceman, and you gave me 12 solid tracks and you were like you talked about more in depth about like what's going on, like how the whole beef affected your family because don't forget your family got brought into this beef.
Yeah.
Adonis was a part of it, your mom was a part of it, your dad was a part of it, your whole team was a part of it. And if you would have came out and you would have talked about how that not only affected you, but it affected the people around you, and maybe you had some regrets about it. If you would have done something like that, I think that we would have been able to have a conversation about how this could be a number one album. But instead, you came out and you were like, I'm going to take shots at everybody who I felt like wasn't on my team during the whole beef. The part of the problem is those people weren't a part of your team because of something that you must have done in
Yeah.
it be like because the thing is
Yeah.
we saw you in your relationship with Braun. We saw you in your relationship with DeMar Rosen. We saw you in your relationship with Khaled and Future and even Kendrick and Cole and basically everybody that you talk shit about. We saw you have at least a platonic relationship at one point in time where you there was like mutual respect there. Somebody like LeBron, I would argue was a Drake dick rider for the longest time. Like,
For a
he,
while, actually, yeah.
bro, he loved Drake. Like, and the thing is like something happened along the way, and I don't know if maybe Braun is just riding the coattails of the success of like a Not Like Us, or maybe he just that song resonated with him a little bit more, and then as soon as Drake saw that, Drake took offense, and then Braun was like, you know what, fuck you, then. Like, if I can't like a song, at your expense, because how many songs did Drake come out where Drake's always been a sneak disser and always giving subliminal messages, talking shit about people, and you always saw LeBron bumping them same songs.
Yeah.
So I'm like, Drake just sounds like a fucking bitter ex. Like, that's the one takeaway that I took away from this album is like, bro, you just sound bitter. And like,
Yeah.
which to me doesn't tell me that you won this beef at all or that you even plan on really moving forward from here.
Yeah.
But
I will say I thought they were gonna be a little bit more like actual shots at Kendrick, so I'm happy that there wasn't from the first go round that I took. Like, I know me and you were talking, and there's a lot of like subliminal beef messages, where he's taking shots at like fucking everybody, right? Like Joe Button, Braun, fucking apparently YG, and some of them.
And
But
bro, if you read the lyrics, it sounds like it's a bar, but then you hear him say it.
yeah,
And you're like, bro, you're not even saying this shit with your chest. Like,
yeah.
it just felt like you plugged some shit into Chat GPT and fucking whatever it spit out, you were like, bro, throw that in there.
So that's where I'm like, but I'm happy because I'm in a way, even though yes, he comes across as the bitter X on this track or on this whole album. In a way, it sounds like we're moving on, right? Like it sounds like we're
Only
not like
only because
from
Kendrick ain't gonna come out and he ain't gonna say shit about it. Like the
Yeah,
number,
that's
like
true.
how this album came out and how it's like public perception right now from what I'm seeing is that this shit flopped.
Well, does Kendrick need to respond?
I think Kendrick needs to respond if he came out and he had some real shit to say and he had like some bars. Like if Drake came out and he put out 11 or 12 Family Matters, type Family
Yeah.
Matters, and he just dedicated this whole album to shitting on Kendrick, for sure Kendrick's got to come out and he's got to say something. I think the best thing that Kendrick could do at this point is not even acknowledge the fact that this album even dropped. Like,
Yeah.
because I feel like that's what a lot of people wish happened right now, because I've done wasted damn near 2 hours of my life listening to this fucking album that I'll never be able to get back, and I didn't take really anything away from it. That's one of the things that irritates me the most about Drake and his music is that I feel like I'm getting honey dicked, being told that I should believe that this man is elite,
Yeah.
and he's really not.
He's a good rapper. Don't get me wrong, but I don't.
I think
I've
he's a good
always
artist.
said I
He's a
don't
good
think
artist. He's not a good rapper.
I don't think he's a great rapper. I'll still give him that. I'm like, he's a good rapper.
He's a good artist, man. Like, he can have a rollout that everybody gets excited about. He's gonna have a world tour. I'm sure the world tour is gonna be full of like badass places that he travels to. It's gonna be sold out. The production behind it's gonna be legit. He's an industry artist. Like, he's not a good rapper though. Like, if you were a good rapper, if you were even a decent rapper, the whole beef would have felt close, but it didn't.
I think you can still be a good rapper and lose a rap beef though. Like, you just lost it to one of the elites. Like, I'll stand here and say Kendrick is an elite rapper. Like, he's in my top one actually, probably, alive right now. So that's easy to say, right? But like, if Kendrick and Cole got into it and those two went head to head and Cole loses, that doesn't mean Cole still isn't an elite rapper. He still is one of the greatest, in
No,
my
but if
opinion, to
Kendrick
come
and
through and
Cole
do
had
it.
some sort of spat between each other,
It
that
would have
shit
been
would feel a
closer.
lot closer.
It would have felt a lot closer, right? But that's what I'm saying. Is I'm saying, in my opinion, Drake is a good rap artist. He's a good rapper, in my opinion, because like The motherfucker, you don't just get 13 number one hits by just being shitty at rapping, right? Like, and Drake has given some good bops, whether it was Over, Fancy. Like, I know I'm dating myself, y'all, because I'm going all the way back, but like, he's had some good rap songs. Like, don't get me wrong, but like, to your point, I just think you went up against an actual elite rapper, and of course, you were never gonna win. Like, it's like everything that we used to say in high school, right? The stereotypical high school jock that comes in, or the typical loud mouth that's constantly running off at the mouth, who wants to go and pick on the shy, quiet person that just sits there and colors or draws and does their anime shit in the back, and then we're all shocked when the anime motherfucker knocks you out because they never say anything or they never did much, but it's been there the whole time. The talent's been there the whole time. They just never had the level to display it at. Kendrick's talent has always been there. He just never had anybody that was willing to go up against him. He never had anybody that was willing to push him like that. And I'm not saying push him, but you know what I mean? Like,
No, dude,
try and
I
kick
think
dirt in his motherfucking eye and then
no,
have him have to respond to it.
Drake pushed him. That's
Yeah.
the thing. It's like Drake for years had always like, and I wouldn't say that Kendrick was ever like jealous of like what was going on with Drake and his success. But I think Drake always talked about himself as like, I'm one of the elites. Like I'm like,
That would irk me though.
yeah,
Like if I'm
exactly.
Kendrick Lamar, I'm not jealous, but I would be irked by some
Probably
shit like
because
that.
you know like how much it actually takes in order for you to really get to that level. And the thing is like Drake is always, if you ain't seeing Drake drop an album, you're seeing him like in fucking like on a beach somewhere with some different accent of wherever he's at.
Yeah.
Like, you know, you don't really see Kendrick out there like that because one, it's probably you know spending time with his family. Like that's probably something that actually means something to him. And like, and to me, it's evident in all of his projects where he talks about his family
Yeah.
that they mean a lot to him. And also, this man is probably just in the studio, just creating new sounds. Like every time you hear Kendrick, like you brought up earlier, it doesn't sound like the project before it, and it actually sounds like, you know, I think him linking up with Baby Keem is probably like it's going to be one of the biggest influences on the future of hip hop. Just the sounds that they're making right now is pretty insane. And
Mhm.
like that was another thing that's happened, you know, since our last episode is we got an opportunity to go see Baby Keem in Dallas. What a fucking show, dude.
Right.
Like, you know what I
My
mean?
back
Such
still
a
fucking
small
hurts.
venue. Definitely showed my age a little bit, like being there in the pit. Like that shit is a young man's game. But is there any song on this album that you think that you'd be able to go to like a Baby Keem style concert with Drake as the performer, and then that shit is going to be as lit as what it was with Baby Keem?
No,
Not a chance.
different types of music. Again, like I don't think Drake. The
Then
Drake
don't talk
doesn't
about
make the
yourself
type of
as one
music
of
like.
the don't talk about yourself as one of the elites then. Like if you just embrace being that artist that made music
But
for
who in the
bitches.
industry actually talks about Drake as being an elite? Like there was a whole passing of the torch with West Coast rappers and Kendrick Lamar. I've seen Jay-Z laud J. Cole on national television. Who from the actual industry? Because that's where I'm always just like, we've got to stop just always going to the shit that's on the internet, right? Just because people on the internet are saying you're prime and you're elite, that doesn't mean shit, in my opinion. Who from the industry has actually given Drake, with the exception of maybe like a Wayne, and even I've never seen Wayne be like, Drake's the number one or the greatest motherfucking rapper of the new generation or
I'm
anything
sure
of that
back in the
nature.
day Wayne said some shit like that, but because Wayne used to be like back when Wayne was on
But
top,
Wayne also had a financial interest in Drake at the time, I will say.
100%.
But
But you
yes,
could argue that everybody that's ever attached themselves to Drake has had a financial interest in it.
yeah,
That's my argument is that like Drake has always been sort of that industry plant that if you got him on your song, you knew that it was probably going to be either a number one or it was going to get you like you were going to get the recognition you feel like you deserve because you got you pretty boy Drake on your song.
gross.
And that to me is like a problem. Like if you because then you're conflicting popularity with actual talent.
Yeah.
And I don't think Drake's ever had that level of talent that would you know, that gets these types of individuals on their songs, because you got to think like Drake got Future. He's got a project with Future back when Future was
Yeah.
popping. Same thing with 21 Savage. Like, 21 Savage is like,
Whole albums.
exactly. He's got whole albums with guys that probably wouldn't give him the time of the day had he not been Pretty Boy Drake that was able to get them to the level that they feel like they deserve.
That's
Because the
true.
thing is, it's like Drake or Future and 21. Like, to me, those guys are not. I wouldn't call them elite just yet, but they're definitely in the higher echelon
Top
of,
tier.
of actual rappers. So, you know, they deserve their flowers, but unfortunately, they don't get them unless they associate themselves with a guy like Drake.
Yeah. I don't disagree with you there.
But
I don't even think anything. It's funny because you bring up Baby Keem, and I'm like, there's not even anything on this track that will like make me die to go see Drake in person.
well, the thing is too is like we were discussing the Casino album beforehand, and we were like, what is this show going to be like? Because
Mm-hmm.
that album felt so personal. It felt
Yeah.
a bit emotional at times, and even when he played those songs in that small ass venue, that shit felt like we were there witnessing something special, in my
Yeah.
opinion. Like, I wouldn't even say that Baby Keem's performance, like, during the show was like elite. Like, it felt like he was just kind of up there having a good time. But when you looked at everybody around, like, in the pit and even outside the pit, everybody was vibing.
Yeah.
Like, there wasn't a single person in there that was like, man, this just, I'm not having really, I'm not having a good time. Like, that shit just felt different.
Yeah.
But I don't know, man. I definitely expected a little bit more out of this album. I was
Scale of 1
hoping
to 10.
on a scale of 1 to 10. Man, I'm gonna sound like such a fucking hater. Like, realistically, I could probably give it like a 4, like a 4 out of
That's
10
not
for
bad.
me. Like, and which sounds bad, but at the same time, I felt like there wasn't a single track on this album that like really separated himself to where you could be like,
Yeah.
oh yeah, you know what? Maybe we got it wrong with the beef. Maybe because that was a big point of Kendrick's, or a big talking point for Kendrick during the beef was like, you ain't got no classics. Like, you're not on the level that you think you are. Like, I'm actually number one. This was an opportunity that Drake could have came out and been like, let me tell you why you were wrong.
Yeah.
And it didn't feel like that at all.
No.
So,
That's not too far off. Because like I said, I was like 5 out of 10 to me. Like,
and if I'm being honest, 2 out of 10 was just because of the rollout.
yeah.
Like, you got me excited. Like,
Yeah.
I actually thought like some shit was gonna happen. And I mean, the predictions that I made before this were what that it was gonna go number one.
Yeah. That he'd have a
He'd
song
have
of
a
the
number
summer.
one single,
Yeah.
and that he was gonna address the beef.
Yeah.
So like right now, I'm at a 33%, and I hope I'm wrong on the rest. Like, I hope this album doesn't go number one. I hope he doesn't have a number one bot, because I really don't think that he should be able to surpass Michael with this project. I'm not saying that you're not gonna, a year or two down the road after the beef has definitely been settled and you know that it's finally over, that you go back to Drake with the melodies and putting out music for bitches that in Ibiza or something, to where then you get a number one song. It's like, I don't think that you should surpass Michael, but I can't control that shit.
Yeah.
I don't think this album, if you're Drake,
This isn't going to do it.
if you're Drake, do you want this album to be the one that puts you over?
No.
I would hope not, but
Oh, actually, if I'm Drake, I just want to get put over. Like, I
That's
don't give
true.
a fuck what it is, what the project is.
bro, that's why you put out 40 motherfucking
Yeah.
mid-ass songs, like hoping one of them sticks.
Yeah. I don't see it. I think Drake fatigue is a real thing. And I think,
And that was one of your predictions beforehand too, where you were like, I don't think that he has the same star power that he did before.
yeah, I think the beef knocked him down a few levels in regards to like his celebrity stock, as you might say. And I think you're seeing that because like whereas before critics would have come through and not like critically acclaimed the dude's album, but been like, "Yay,
Not
it's
even just
Drake."
critics, it was like it was always when Drake would drop in the past, you'd see, like,
Dude, his
all of the
fans all over
celebrities, all the
Twitter.
fans,
Yep.
like, just flooding Twitter with, "This is the greatest album ever." Like, they would say that shit for every one of his projects, which, you know, I've been guilty of before too. Like, as soon as I heard Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers, I was like, "Oh, bro, this right here is definitely top 3 for Kendrick." Like,
Yeah.
and, um you know, I still stand by that, to be honest with you, though. Like, Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers is a fantastic album, in my opinion.
It is.
But, I didn't see people really talking about this album in like a positive way. You didn't see like the star power of like all the celebrities that usually fuck with Drake come out and give him his flowers for this album. So, you know, maybe I don't have my ear to the ground, but this shit did not feel special.
No. I agree. I think honestly, had this album come out, like this sounds like some shit that would have come out in 2024 right after the beef. Like right after the dust settled is like something
Bro,
that just like was
career
rushed that we
suicide
were
if that
just
was the
putting
case.
out. And that's one of the things that people are saying is that that's one of the reason he released 3 albums was because I guess it like ties up his obligation to the record label that he's under so that he
Ooh.
can now be free and do his own thing and
But bro, this is the same record label that has gotten you to the point where you're at. So what are you talking about? Like you think that you're going to be more creative now? You think that you're going to have better bars now? Uh,
possibly. I mean, if you're getting to work on dude, if you're getting to work under your fucking self, you don't have the pressures of a record label with,
Here's
all
the
of the
difference. Here's the big difference. And I hate the fact that we're always like comparing him to Kendrick. But you look at Kendrick under Top Dog, bro, there was
yeah.
every
They
album
didn't
is
miss.
fucking.
They didn't miss.
Yeah, exactly. So it doesn't matter if you don't have that creative fucking mindset, it ain't happening.
Yeah.
And then, you know, man, I am so sorry for anybody who's like a Drake dick rider because I sound like the biggest Drake hater right now. But I really did try. I really tried to go into this album and
It just
think
wasn't one of his better projects. I mean, like his fans even have to admit that. Like this
sound
isn't one
off.
of
And
Drake's better projects.
the thing is, like, sound off in the comments and let me know what I need to go. Because if I'm being completely honest, and this is going to show my bias, this is the very first Drake album that I've listened to from front to back.
Front to back.
There's never been an album that I've listened to. I've heard like 1 or 2 singles off each one of his albums, and like some of them were good, others, most of them were not.
Yeah.
Like in my opinion, and that's I think I just have like a different standard of what I classify as good music.
Well, and this is the final thing I will say. I do think making an album is not the easiest, right? Especially when you have motherfuckers that are like Kendrick Lamar who produces like a full album front to back or that has a conceptual album front to back. So like you have to listen to it all the way through. Each song kind of has to be like not necessarily a banger, but has some type of like tie either to you or to the previous song so that you continue listening. Like I'll give credit where credit's due. I'm not gonna sit here and act like making a fucking album would be the easiest thing. Having said that, I do think to your point, having quality over quantity is what matters. And if you could produce an album that even just had 9 or 10 successful tracks, like a fucking thriller, people, but that every track there is filled with such quality and it's so good that like each song becomes a hit on into itself, well then like you'd be good to go. But that's not what we did here. Instead, it felt like to your point earlier, let me just throw some shit at the wall and let's see what sticks. And then whatever sticks, it works. If it gets me my 14th number one, I'm good to go. If not, who cares?
Because
Because the album's gonna go number one regardless. Like the
yeah,
album's going number one.
but think about it. If you throw some shit at the wall, one of them sticks, you get that 14th. Your next album, you can go into it and being like, see why I'm the greatest. Like
Yeah.
I think that's what this is. Like I think this was a rollout in order to get to that final album. Because like, how much longer do you think Drake can really do this shit? Like, you've got
He's
guys
40
like,
now.
yeah, but you've got guys like Cole and like Kendrick that are saying, I'm coming close to the end. Like, I'm almost done. This album for me is like, please Drake, just be done. Like,
He's not close. There's no way.
bro, how many more times do I got to hear about you being on an island somewhere or fucking bitches or like, I don't care. Like, that's what
Especially as your fans get older, because they're
and
going
the
to
thing
stop
is
caring.
like going back to your earlier point about how hard it is to make an album, it's probably way harder when you actually believe that you're like number one or that you're in the top spot or you're telling everybody, hey, I'm number one.
Yeah.
Because then you got to come out and you got to actually produce that. Like UFC champions talk about that all the time where they're like, bro, when I had the belt, that shit just, I felt anxiety all the time because I knew at some point I was going to lose that shit. And when they finally do lose it, they're like, oh, dude, it's like a weight off my shoulders.
Yeah. You're free.
You feel free in a way. But the thing is like, don't come out and tell me that you're number one if you ain't trying to come out and put out number one type shit.
Yeah.
So
I don't disagree there.
I don't know. I'm going to get all the hate, but direct that shit towards this bum ass album.
Listen, y'all, I tried. I gave him as much of a shot as I fucking could. I listened to the album all the way through. With the exception of like the last 2 tracks. I might have like fast forwarded through Firm Friends.
You didn't listen to the album all the way through them.
I might have fast forwarded through Firm Friends and make them know.
But is this an album where you can see yourself trying to go back and listen to again in order to exactly?
Fuck no.
That's what I'm saying. It's like you heard this shit one time and you said there's 2 or 3 songs on here that I could actually fuck with, or you said this shit is not for me.
This album actually made me feel like this was a job. Like actually listening to the fucking like legit, I felt like I was having to prepare for work. So like, yeah, that's how I knew it wasn't
bad.
Yeah, that's how I knew I was like, this isn't good. And I'm sitting there because we were listening to it yesterday. I'm listening to it with Arian. Arian's calling it boring. She's like, it's too slow. I don't like him rapping.
Which is kind of crazy because I feel like Drake's music is always tailored towards like women or soft ass dudes. So if you got women
and Arian has a pretty
dudes,
good fucking taste in music, in my opinion.
I agree.
Like, I've
always had good taste in music.
Yeah,
and she finds like good artists that are like not well known, but are still talented.
Yeah.
And the thing is, it's like you cross a special bridge when you're talented and you're well known. Like, and Drake is what we've always been told is both, that he's well known and that he's talented. And I'm not going to take anything away from him, like as far as you achieving the accolades that you have. Like, sure, like you've got number ones, you've been able to associate yourself with other artists that have helped you along the way in order to get you number ones. And to your credit, you've helped other artists get to their number ones. That's, I'm not going to take anything away from you on that. But the thing is if you're telling me that this is going to be like a groundbreaking album for months, you're going to tell me, the marketing on this album is, that this shit's going to be special, that this is the old Drake, and just give me that then, dude.
Yeah.
Like, and I would have respected it a lot more, but this shit felt it sort of felt rushed, in my opinion. Like you had to put something out, and it's like, dude, you didn't have to put shit out. Like, just take your time on it and put out something that's
you definitely didn't have to put out 3 fucking albums,
bro. I think he did that for the conversation. First artist to ever put out like 3 albums at once, because artists a lot of the times will put out double albums, and everybody gets all excited. And then he put out 3 albums, but it's like, bro, you put out 3 bags of garbage, in my opinion. Which
might be why one of Michael Jackson's producers stopped him from doing a triple album. Michael's History album was supposed to be a triple album. He came there with like 70 or 100 something songs, and then they told him, they were like, we dial this back a little bit, Michael, and just make it to the top. And I mean, like, History is not one of his greater albums, but 20 million albums sold. Like, it's still one of the best selling albums of all time. And it's got some bangers on it. Like,
but it's also the star power of who Michael Jackson was.
Exactly.
Like, when you put out like a Thriller or an Off the Wall or a Bad, like when you put out those albums and people associate you with putting out good music, they're naturally going to go out and they're going to support your next project, which I feel like is what Drake's fans are doing right now. They're trying to say this shit is like fire this shit, well, I guess this shit is cold, like, whatever.
Iceman.
But yeah, I mean, Iceman is like, and I talked about this before with you. If Drake really wanted to show his influence on American culture, bro, you could have came out and you could have done like you remember Bring It On,
Oh, that's right.
where it's like I
Yeah.
said, "Burr,
Brr.
it's cold
It's
in here."
cold.
Bro, if you would have done something like that, if you would have had a music video where you could even throw fucking Sexy Red's ass in there in like a little cheerleader outfit or something like that,
Yeah.
and she would have been out there, like, you want to talk about influence on American culture, that song and that movie had everybody in a chokehold when it first came out,
That's
and you
true.
you as Drake would have shown everybody. That would have been a sort of a jab at Kendrick, and because Kendrick said, "You ain't American, bro. You're Canadian. Don't ever forget that shit."
Yeah.
But bro, American culture loved that movie,
Yeah.
and you as Drake could have came out and you could have done something like that, like. But that just shows that you don't have, and this is just me thinking that that is more creative than what you put out. But I would have loved to sing some shit like that, like if you came out and sort of ripped off the Bring It On movie, but it would have tied into the theme of your album,
Yeah.
and you didn't even have.
That would have been actually really cool.
Yeah.
Not shocked though that his team would not think to do something. Again, he's not American. He's Canadian. He's probably never even seen Bring It On.
Well, I mean, that goes back to what Kendrick was saying, dude. You ain't a part of the culture, because the thing is, like, bro, every girl in
Bro.
school, in elementary school that I knew growing up, knew that damn song, and they were all singing it, and they were all doing the cheer dance, like, out on the playground and shit. So it's like you couldn't get away from it.
Yeah.
And the thing is you could have tapped into real American culture, like,
Yeah.
and not even, and black culture too, because that song was like the black chicks versus the white
Yeah.
chicks in the movie. So like you could have came out and you could have said like, no, I am a part of black culture. Take a look, and you've kind of fucked up in the past by doing stuff like that. So maybe you're trying to stay away from those types of themes, but I would have respected it if you would have came out and did some shit like that, especially if you're gonna throw Sexy Red, who nobody wants to see on your album. Like, you want to talk about fatigue, bro? I'm so sick of the Sexy Red Drake collabs, bro.
I'm just tired of Sexy Red in general. Like I've got fatigue, Sexy Red fatigue.
The Hood Princess.
Yeah, that's just like, yeah. I'll leave it there.
But what do you think that he could have done in order to actually made this album, like stuff like that, like the Bring It On scene?
That's just it though. That's still part of the rollout. The rollout to me was not bad.
Yeah,
The
100%.
rollout we both agree was good. The only thing that you could have done to make this album any more like
Actually
digestible,
had bars.
palatable was actually had bars. Like
Yeah.
actually be a lyricist, actually rap on this motherfucker about some shit of substance. Because to your point, we've been listening to Drake since 2008, 2009.
Bro,
It's
every
been the
bar,
exact same thing.
Yeah.
Every single bar.
and every bar on this fucking album felt like a Twitter subliminal tweet. Like,
Yeah.
you just like, shut the fuck up, Janice. Like, apparently Janice is some bitch that runs UMG and stuff like that. It's like,
Oh.
yeah,
I had no clue. I was like,
that's what I heard, dude. Like that's what the Twitter bots are saying. The thing is like, even if that was like what that was your intent, is to call out the bitch of UMG, make sure you give that bitch her flowers too, because she got you there. Like, the thing is, like, just because somebody turns their back on you one time during a feud that you actually started, in my opinion, like, you didn't have to come out and say shit after like that. You should have just kept your fucking mouth shut and been like, you know what, I'm Drake, I'm number one, and I'm gonna just put out I'm gonna put out Iceman, or I'm gonna put out Maid of Honor, and my fans are gonna gravitate towards it because I'm UMG's poster boy.
yeah.
If you would have just done that and you would have kept your fucking mouth shut, that would have been perfectly fine. But you thought you were on the same level as like a real artist, a real rapper, and you came out and poked the bear. And then once you found out that real rap fans really care about the bars and not necessarily you just being pushed in our face, well, then UMG looked at that and said, look, both of these guys are our fucking artists. We're gonna go with whoever's hot right now.
Yeah.
and now you're Drake because you're mad and
Yeah.
you're mad about it. Like,
Well, and Kendrick had the better songs than Beef. So,
absolutely.
like, if I'm UMG's president or if I'm right over, like, the music,
And the
I'm
thing
just
is if Drake would have had the better songs in the
they
album,
would've
UMG would have pushed him, and
yeah.
he would have been like, "I love you, Janice," on the
Yeah.
motherfucking the Iceman track. But instead, you're all pissed off because public perception was that you lost, and of course the record label's going to go with whoever is the hot artist at the time.
Yeah.
But
I think this is the most I've ever talked about Drake.
yeah, dude, I definitely got some hate in my heart. I wasn't even trying to be like this. Like, I was really hoping I was gonna come in. Like, what I really wanted was to come in here and be like, "See, I fucking told you. I told you." Like,
Yeah.
not just because you and I've always had this like competitive edge this competitive mindset when it came to music about who was gonna be right and who could predict the future and whatnot like that. I was like, man, I really hope that Drake's album is actually like a fucking good album. But I was so wrong,
So wrong.
and I'm sure that there's going to be a lot of people that disagree, and they're going to, they're going to say, they're going to point towards a bar or two, and they're going to say, this is the reason why, he's the best or whatever.
Please point to the bars in the fucking comments because I'm trying to find them.
It's tough. It's tough to find something that actually resonates and that where you're like, you actually feel that, because the thing is, like, you're coming out and you're saying this shit, and I don't even believe you.
Yeah.
Like, I don't even believe that you actually believe this shit. Like, the thing is, like, if Braun came out this year and won another championship and said, I want to, and he was playing your music or something like that, you'd be right back on Braun's dick. The thing is, like, you only ride with who's riding with you at the time,
Yeah.
which, you know, to the credit of a guy like Kendrick or Cole, I don't even think they let that shit really affect them. They're like, oh, Braun's listening to my shit, okay, like, uh, you know, maybe I'm giving too much credit to those guys, but I don't feel like they ride the wave the way that Drake does.
No, I would agree.
But I don't know, man. I got a lot of shit off my chest on this. I feel like I got more off my fucking chest than what Drake did in this motherfucking album.
Like I said, I think my biggest fucking takeaway was for the first time doing this podcast, I felt like I was actually having to work listening to this album because it was just and like I said, like if my girl says that your album sucks and she's got a pretty good ear for music in my opinion,
has she been a Drake fan in the
and
past?
you said has she been a Drake fan in the past? Yeah, like but more so Drake with the melodies, like Drake with the like
That's what pissed me off about
college
this album,
Drake.
bro. How you gonna be Drake with the melodies and Drake trying to act tough? Like,
You
pick a
can't.
lane.
Yeah, you can't. You can't. And that's where I think for so many people, his diehard fans obviously gonna fuck with him, love him regardless. But I think even they're having a hard time trying to like sell this shit to other people because like at
I
the
feel
end
like
of the
they've
day,
always had a hard time trying to sell this shit. Like,
I feel like they've had a hard time selling Drake.
yeah,
Like Drake as an individual. But I feel like
but
Drake always
I don't
has a
know, dude.
song or a bop where
This
like it's not
motherfucking
hard to have to sell the song.
Hotline Bling, bro, was fucking garbage.
Hotline Bling was such a big
I
song.
know.
Arian
That's what I'm
loved Hotline
saying.
Bling.
That's what I'm saying. That song sucks so fucking bad, and it just got pushed in our fucking face. And then like his fans kept trying to tell us like how good it was, and it's like, bro, if you're actually listening to this shit, it's fucking garbage.
Yeah.
But you go back and you listen to like Started from the Bottom from Drake, fucking decent song.
Good song.
Like, but also a song that made it real popular, made it real big. So like when you come to me and you say like, "Oh, bro, have you heard Started from the Bottom? This song's fucking legit." And then I hear it and I'm like, yeah, you're absolutely right. You can't go and tell me that that song is on the same as like a Hotline Bling or what was that song that that's the other thing. Drake's music feels like it's all TikTok dance bullshit. Like
And it always has felt that way too.
yeah,
Like I'm thinking
exactly.
about Over and I'm just like
What was that? Kiki, do you love me? What song was that? Where everybody's hopping out of their fucking whip, doing a little stupid dance. And that's the thing, is like that's the type of music you make, and then you want like real rap fans to respect you.
Yeah. What's the name? That was off the Scorpion album or whatever. Because that
I
album
couldn't even
wasn't
tell you.
bad. That,
Couldn't even
that
tell
album
you.
wasn't bad either. But again, that was College Boy Drake. Like in my opinion, like the
Dude,
Drake for
everybody was
college
hopping out
girls.
the whip trying to like fucking do this stupid
Mm-hmm.
dance, and I don't know.
Because
They
what
just
was the other song on there? It was the Michael Jackson song.
oh shit. We got an Amber Alert. Adonis is missing. He went into hiding after this fucking album dropped. Did you see he put him in a music video though? Yeah, like with this, I don't
How
remember.
old is Adonis?
I don't know. It has to be at least 11.
Okay. God, the Pusha T beef was that fucking long ago. Pusha T beef was what, 2016?
Okay, so yeah, he's probably 10, 9, 10. Either way, to me, when you put Adonis in a song right after the rap beef, you're like trying to say like, no, I am a good dad. I am like, and the thing is, like in that song, Drake ain't even in that song. Like it's just Adonis like driving like a cop car.
Which song is this?
Ah, fuck.
Off the new album?
Yeah, it's off the new album. Like,
Okay.
I'm sure we can. Let me pull it up real quick because it's worth actually talking about. Because the comedian Shane Gillis is in that music video too. He plays like a cop who's in the back of the cop car, and Adonis is driving it. The fucking mouse don't want to work right now.
Try clicking it.
Do you have the same mouse as him?
Work. That's how my mouse is at work.
Not whisper my name. Let me see. Because that was the other thing. He dropped a bunch of music videos.
Now, see, I haven't watched a single music video for this album. That might.
Shit, maybe.
I was gonna
Is
say
it
that
this
might
whisper my
change
name one?
the way that I feel.
Definitely not listening to that shit again. Bro, now I can't even find it. Adonis.
Adonis said, take that shit down.
Right there, dust. We'll probably have to cut it out, but I'll show it to you real quick.
That's Toronto, I'm guessing.
It might be. I don't know. I have no desire to go to Canada.
Anaya wants to go to Canada for some fucking reason.
What the fuck? Is Godzilla up there or something?
She said they speak French there. And I was like, well,
Does she speak French?
Oh, no.
Or is she learning French? Like,
you can't tell me
clicked
that
on the
wasn't
wrong
a bar
motherfucking
right there.
music
Come on
video.
now.
Is this it? Oh yeah, it is. Bro, and why are you gonna make it seem like Adonis in here whipping this motherfucker? Do you feel like Canadian police cars are the same as ours? Have you
I
seen
don't know.
have you seen like foreign police cars? Like a lot of them don't look like ours at
Yeah,
all.
they don't look like ours at all. But I think it's because you typically use the vehicle that's made up in like your country, right? So like in Germany, the cop cars are usually like Mercedes or fucking BMWs.
Could you imagine trying to outrun like a fucking BMW M4 or something like that? I mean, some cop cars here in America have like badass Chargers. Like that's what this is.
Yeah.
But the thing is, like, he put his son in a music video, which I'm sure is really cool for Adonis, like, but when you grow up like a nepo baby, like, I mean, I mean,
Bro, Kanye's daughter just released a whole EP.
yeah, I don't know if I'm gonna give that one a listen. Like,
It's 11 minutes.
oh, maybe I will give it a listen then. The thing is like maybe he passed down some of that creative genius to her. I know she's got like a little bit of a weird look. She's got like super blue hair.
Yeah,
And
Northwest or whatever her name is.
yeah, but I don't know, man. It's cool to see that Drake, like, threw Adonis in a music video, because like I said, I think that that's going to be really cool for Adonis. But it just it's not the best look after Kendrick told you that you're a shit dad.
Yeah.
Because this to me is just you trying to be like, no, I'm not.
It could also be now that Adonis is at the stage and age where like he can actually be in shit like this. Like,
Bro, if I'm Adonis, I'm getting as far away from my dad as possible after what we saw in the last couple of years, and especially after this album dropped. Like,
Adonis, your dad's worth like $500 million, son. Don't leave him.
yeah,
Just
that's
stick
true.
next
Credit to
him.
him.
Latch onto that motherfucker like a leech in a lake.
Just like Drake's dad. But all right, man. I have released all the hate. The one good thing that I'll say about this album is that he dropped it on the date that he said he was going to. Like, good. I'm trying, dude. But yeah, I'm sorry. I can't. I wish I could come in here and tell you guys that this shit was badass, but I'm not gonna say that if I don't actually believe it. So,
As you should. And I guess I will close with I think it's phenomenal that he dropped 3 albums in one
did
day.
you say I
That's
stink?
crazy.
It's phenomenal. Because that's what that shit sounded like to me.
I think it was phenomenal that Drake was able to drop 3 albums in the same day. A lot of people would say quality over quantity, but Drake said quantity over quality. And that's something that if he can live with it, I can live with it too.
On a more serious note, the one positive thing that I can say is people can probably learn from Drake on what it means to roll out an album. Because the thing is like, you had a great rollout
He did.
for a terrible project.
He did.
Now think of somebody who
It's like when you have a good teaser trailer for a movie and then you watch the movie and you're like, what the fuck did I just watch?
the best parts are in the trailer. Yeah, that's kind of what this felt like. But the thing is like a better artist could probably benefit from having a better rollout.
Yeah.
But on the same note, a lot of those artists don't even have to have a crazy rollout because their fans know just how special they are.
Yeah.
But that's one positive thing that I would actually say is that a lot of artists could learn from Drake on what it means to roll out an album, and get people excited. So, thanks for tuning in, guys.
Thank y'all.